Hey everybody, and welcome to season 32 of Spine Chill. I'm a co-host, John Wolfe. Here's another co-host, Gary the Hot Cross.
Hello.
And here's our 33-time recurring guest, Doug Running Man.
Hello. Recurring guest for now.
Times.
Yeah, but like we're on our way, right? How many ratings do we need for me to apply for co-host?
As of right now, 187.
Okay. I know there's 187 people hearing my voice right now, right? There has to be.
Mm-hmm.
At least.
Yeah.
Doug, this is something you could do. 187 people could comment that they've commented, or that they've rated the Spotify Spine Chill 5 stars, and you could respond to them saying thank you in the comment section below.
Absolutely.
Do a meet and greet.
I'm down. Yeah, Running Man meet and greet. I'll do anything. You know, no.
So if you missed last week's episode and you're not sure what we're talking about, we need to hit 500 ratings on Spotify for Spine Chill. So go rate it. Get your niece and nephew to rate it. Get your mother to rate it. Everyone you know. And then we'll hit that 500. And then when it happens, Doug will be allowed to apply for a co-host position.
We've actually got a very special idea for that as well, which I think people will very much enjoy.
The application.
You in particular, Doug.
The application will be public, so
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
Yeah,
and Gary and I will work hard on our presentation.
I perform well under pressure. Everybody knows that. All right, so I'm ready.
We can do like a quick fire question round.
There's a lot to look forward to, but we gotta hit those 500 ratings first. So you
hurry up, rate it. You know people, you see people, you talk to people. Tell them.
These episodes get way more than 500 views on YouTube and more than 500 listens on Spotify. So I'm just saying. Tell them.
Can you guys feel the desperation? Like, it's okay.
I know, it's the best bit.
Yeah, it's definitely
it's the best quality you have for the job.
Thank you. I deserve that.
Other than Doug's impending co-host application, we have a packed episode for you here today.
We do.
Yeah.
Oof. We have a lot of hot takes about Dead by Daylight, as usual. We're going to be talking about the event made for this and other controversies.
Bit of Albert Wesker
discourse. We're going to be talking about the launch of Home Sweet Home Online, formerly Home Sweet Home Survive.
It's finally here. It's finally here.
Yes. And
yes.
Yeah.
Well, no spoilers on our opinions on that. But what else do we have? We had something else.
We want to talk a little bit about last year.
Yes.
It's finally it's had some time. The dust has settled, and we can have a little update on how that game's doing.
Mm-hmm. Your number one asymmetrical horror podcast, Spine Chill, going to be the only place that you're going to hear anyone weigh in on the current status of last year. So buckle up.
Wait, there aren't last year podcasts out there? That's crazy.
No,
there is. We're the number one.
Yes, we're the number one last year podcast.
Number one in last year. Man.
Yeah.
The accolades just keep piling up, man. Oh.
Do we want to start with DBD like usual?
Yeah. Let's start with DBD.
Okay, sounds good.
Got to get the people what they want, right?
Should we?
Yeah.
Should we start with the Masquerade event? Like start on a bit of a high.
Yeah. Because it's gonna be all downhill from.
Although this is probably just another controversy to discuss is the trouble, because I've seen people not enjoying it, which is surprising because I really like it.
What are their complaints though? Like, what do they not like about it? Is it just like it feels a lot like this is just like I don't like anything ever? Because like, why? What is there not to like about the event?
As you know what they're complaining about. The survivors are blocking off a vault. That's not fair. Oh, the killers keep breaking my pallets. I love it though. I think it's great.
I have yet to run into a situation like that where it's like ruined the game for me. The killer destroying the pallet with the vent item or blocking a vault or anything like that.
So for anyone who might not be caught up who's listening, there's the Masquerade event at the moment. You can use your invitations, which you can find located on the map, and you bring a tiramisu, and you can use it to mess with the other side in some way. So if you're playing killer, you can use it to break pallets, or you can actually, if you get into Bloodlust, you can use it to expose a survivor and instantly down them. And on the survivor side, you can create a party palette, which is similar to Freddy's Dream palettes, which when you drop them, they immediately just explode into nothing. And you can also block vaults, which is quite fun as well. And it actually charges, you actually get charges by being chased.
Yeah.
It actually incentivizes you to be in chase. So you get recharges for hunting down survivors as the killer, and vice versa.
And the party pallets are better than a Freddy Dream pallet because you can actually stun the killer. If you hit the killer with the pallet, it stuns them.
Yes,
Right.
It's just you can't use it as like a block. It dissipates when you drop it. But I'm gonna be honest, man. I think that it's like very close to balance in terms of like I have played both sides extensively during the event. I have used those party pallets to buy so much time at loops. Like it's actually insane. It's so fun. And when you get the stun, it feels so good. A. And B, I played against the Yoichi earlier. This little so-and-so was using that window block at the main building on Toba Station, the new map.
Oh yeah.
He used it on me like 4 times in the match. He like ran upstairs. I'm like, I know exactly what you're going to do, bro. He vaulted the window, drop down, and then blocked the window. So I had to go all the way around. I was like, this guy.
I was using it on the game the other
rascal.
day. You know when you go up the stairs to that meat grinder thing?
Yeah.
That vault.
Oh, the big drop down. Yeah.
Oh, I felt so dirty, but it was funny.
I know, it's funny. And that's the kind of
that's
stuff
how
like,
I react. Whenever a killer or a survivor does it to me, I'm like, you jammy bastards.
Rascal.
yeah. It's just like, if you just don't take the game and yourself so seriously, this can be a lot of fun. It can be a lot of fun. And again, I have people coming into my Twitch chat because I was playing killer and I was going off on using the exposed and bloodlust. That was really fun.
Oh, it's
and
really
they were like,
funny.
Yeah. And they were coming in there like, I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't even know what happened. All of a sudden I'm just on the ground and I'm like, what happened? I'm like, oh, it's the party invitations. You can use them for exposed. Like people, this is like a week into the event. People don't even know that's a thing because so few people are using it effectively.
It's because I think it's because it wasn't in the first part of the tome, whereas there's a challenge for it now, so it'll hopefully be a bit more white. Because it's my favorite bit of it. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
I have yet to be exposed from that. They always use the pallet break instead when I'm playing Survivor.
Because they're impatient. They don't want the funny.
Yeah.
Whereas
It's
it takes the same amount of time to
optimal.
break it. It takes the same amount of time to break it normally.
I mean, you can get a little bit of a head start.
It's a good way of breaking the vault. It's a good way of breaking the pallet if they're already leaving the loop.
Yeah,
and you can just
break it, so you don't have to worry about it for later.
Carry with the chase. Yeah,
that's literally what I'll do. I'll pop it as I'm leaving the loop. Like, okay, then I don't have to mess with coming back and breaking that later. I'll just break it now. But again, I don't think that the bloodlust exposed is like overly powerful because again, like it takes forever to set it up.
It does, yeah.
And if they realize you're doing it, they can counter it. Like there's a lot. I think it's just funny and it's a fun.
Yeah,
game
actually
to play.
it has the same feeling as No Ed for me when it's like surprise.
Yeah.
Got No Ed.
Yeah. So yeah, overall, I guess it doesn't surprise me that a community full of people that are like, make the game more fun, don't like things that are fun, though.
Yeah. Generally, I think it's been going really well. I think the rewards are quite good. The masks all look really good. The night mask looks insanely good.
Too bad you have to play night to use it.
I know, that's the only disappointing thing. It looks like the mouth of Sauron. It looks great.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the tome is also, I don't know if you've seen the second page of the tome. I don't know how the community one's doing at the moment, but last time I looked, it was struggling.
Oh, that first one on the second level of the tome where it's like you have to get 1 million gold emblems or whatever.
Yeah, and then the next one's another million.
No, that's not happening.
And then I think you get rewarded. It's another million, then another million, then you get the final reward. So that's, I think it's only hit about halfway through so far.
Yeah.
There is 2 weeks, so it could be done, but it's going to be really close.
I think I saw it like the day after they revealed it, and it was at 80,000, and I was like, 24 hours have passed, and we're at 80,000.
Yeah.
That's not happening at all. They're going to have to lower it.
People were saying it's really tough to get. I got them really easily, but...
Well, it's just getting...
professional
humble brag.
Of them, though. 1 million. That's a lot. It's not like, throwing 1 million pallets or repairing 1 million gens.
1 million pallets. One match on the game?
I mean, all they have to do, is open it up to where individuals can do more than 3 contributions, and then Gary will have that thing knocked out in a couple days.
I'll solo
right? Yeah,
exactly.
I'll solo in a day.
Gary gets 4 iridescent emblems every match, and gets gifted the hatch, and does all the gens.
I am adorable. Killers love me. Yeah. The other day I got given like the hatch 5 times in one stream. I was like, wow, I'm so adorable.
It's funny. In my matches, whenever I see a teammate get given the hatch, it's always someone who doesn't deserve it.
Whereas in in my matches, it's always the most deserving.
Of course, yeah, you're the exception.
This guy. So, man. I didn't realize that this was one of your toxic traits, this whole humble brag thing. I just realized it. I've known you for years, and this is the first time I'm realizing it.
You didn't realize that Gary bragged?
I knew he bragged. I didn't know he humble bragged. He's just, it's like, I'm just so surprised that I always get the hatch.
I just can't believe every time it catches me off guard.
Every single match, I get a gold emblem.
It's crazy.
Four gold emblems.
So
real Prince Gary vibes.
We're all very happy with the Masquerade event then. Like, I really have to do more stuff.
I mean,
on both sides. I play both sides, and I've loved it on both sides. I think
I'm loving the cakes. I'm loving getting out of the match and being like 200,000 blood points. Great.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. Especially with the new blood webs and everything, you get so much shit. You get so many cakes from it, more than we've ever gotten.
I would also say I really like the randomizer perk thing.
Yes.
When it works.
Yeah. Oh, can we do a PSA? Can we do a PSA real quick? I know it's bugged. So there's been issues with the randomizer challenges on the tomes, right? Like people not getting the randomizer to work. If you have that bug, switch your game into anonymous mode and it fixes it.
That's so strange.
Yeah, you put it on streamer mode. So, and that's something that like I've had people coming through my chat being like, it's bugged. And I've had people in the Discord saying it's bugged. And 100% of the time I've told people to switch to anonymous mode, it's fixed it. So if you're hearing this and you've been stuck on that one and you're frustrated, try anonymous mode. Then you can thank the random that came into my chat and told me that like a week ago.
Nice.
Because it wasn't my discovery.
The other bug that it's having at the moment is sometimes you equip it, but it doesn't randomize your perks on your first match. Which it feels a little cruel sometimes. Because I was like doing the Nemesis one. I think I was playing Nemesis or Pig for it, and I was like, I've got my perks. This is sweet.
Yeah.
I just played normally.
You thought you got your build. You're like, yeah. Oh, you got the challenge done?
Yeah, like even though it bugged, like it still counted towards it, even though
so it gave you your 4 slowdowns. It gave you your 4 slowdowns, and you were still able to get the challenge. That's crazy.
It gave me my oppression, which made me happy.
You know what's ironic is that
there was one time that it did randomize. It didn't count towards my thing, which was really upsetting. But I got really excited because I was playing like one of my random survives. I was like, I think you had to heal people, and I had Will Make It, and I had botany knowledge and self care. I had all this stuff like designed for healing, and I got really excited. And at the end game, I realized it bugged. I was like, I felt such an idiot.
I was gonna say, ironically enough, when I did my randomizer on Killer, I got oppression. I thought of you, Gary, because I was like, this perk blows, and I was kicking gens and thinking about Gary, about how Gary uses this on purpose, like a weirdo.
I like oppression.
Yeah,
if they could just take off the cooldown. If they could just take the cooldown off.
The cooldown.
Yeah. It might actually be
no
usable
reason for it.
if they took the cooldown off. Yeah, I agree.
Fun
event, right? We're having fun.
Big fan of the event.
We're enjoying
tons of blood points. Fun invitation effects. Like, I mean, I've like everyone else, I've played against the Rusty Shackles Hag and the 4 slugging nurse and all that stuff. There's going to be people like that out there, but it hasn't been the majority of my games. Most of the killers I played against.
Are we going to talk about that?
That transitions quite nicely because I did want to talk about that. Yeah, there's a lot of people complaining online about how miserable killers are being in particular, but
yeah. So the player base that has 4 times the players is complaining that the other side is being annoying. I'm going to tell you right now. I have been listening. He's back. He's wearing the hat. He's playing Killer on stream again. He's back. Okay. I have been streaming a lot of DBD Killer, and I have been streaming a lot of DBD Survivor too. I play both sides. I've been setting up little cake squads to get points, and I'm trying to get Prestige 100 Bubba. I'm at like 74 now, I think. So I'm almost there. I've been playing both sides. I've been playing enough to know. All right, here's the thing. People want to be like, everybody's playing so sweaty because it's an event. No, motherfuckers, everybody's playing hit asymmetrical survival horror online multiplayer esport Dead by Daylight. That's what people are doing. They're playing DBD. There's an event happening while they're playing DBD. Nobody's playing any different. They're just playing the game. And that's the thing that you have to understand. They just play. So you're going to get games that are really sweaty. You're going to get games that are pretty chill. You're going to get games that are in between. Everybody's just playing DBD. And that's the thing. Like Gary, you're laughing, but you dealt with the same shit.
No, it's something you did. You said when you went, I can't get it out of my head. It's
okay.
You sounded like Mini-Me from Austin Powers.
Maybe a little bit. I'm passionate about this one because I got to listen to people. People are like, is there being so sweaty? No, the problem is that you listener who are hearing my voice, if you're thinking, Running Man's crazy. I'm playing. It's so bad. No, what it is you have unreasonable expectations that everyone else is going to play the event the way you want to. And that's not how any of this works. This is the internet full of people who are shitty and sweaty and trying really hard, right? So like the guy who goes out and gets easy 3 gens, easy 3 gens. That guy,
Nancy.
He's not like, well, it's an event, time to just put my feet up and chill out. No, like the motherfucker is eating.
Let's
right?
put Brown out on Trapper.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's not what's going to happen. Guys who are sweaty are going to stay sweaty. 4-man Swifts who are extracting like SEAL teams are still doing that. You know, blights are still out there blighting, and nurses are still out there nursing. And the dude who plays fucking Trapper and gives you the nodders and like wants to farm, he's doing the same thing he's always doing, because those guys, that's who they are. The event will not in any place. There's no correlation between an event and the way people are playing. It's just Dead by Daylight with an event happening. There's more blood points. So don't have expectations. Just play.
And to that point, the only time I've had the only squad that's got arsey with me in the post game was a really try-hard Swift. That's the only people that got upset with the way when I try-harded as killer against them, they got upset because they felt like I shouldn't have been trying so hard, even though they were Swift trying really hard. So it does feel like people just are getting annoyed with the way people are playing when people are playing the same way they always do. And
it's
also,
just DVD.
You're in complete control if you put up with that. Like, if you go up against a slugging nurse, just die on that hook. Just give up. Just move on to the next match. Stop complaining. You know what I meant, Doug. You know what I meant. In the game.
Gary's advice is to just kill yourself in game.
No, in the game.
In game. Just kill yourself in game.
Why don't you just die?
Sorry, sacrifice yourself to the entity.
Jesus, Gary.
You're in control of your own fun in Dead by Daylight. I'm kind of bored of people complaining about being stuck in miserable matches. Do you know, I haven't not had a bad Skull Merchant game in a hot minute. Because every time I bump into the Skull Merchant, I walk towards a hook and I point at it till they hook me and I move on to the next one. Yeah. I don't care. I refuse to not enjoy the game. If I'm not going to have fun playing against a killer, I'm not going to play against it. Yep. Is it fair to my teammates? No, not necessarily. But also, as I've learned from many killer mains, I'm not in charge of anyone else's fun.
True. So, I agree 1,000%. And I will argue, to play the devil's advocate on what you were just saying, in terms of if I'm your teammate and you give up first, it's like, fuck yeah, now I can give up too. Poggers, next game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're giving me a green light to move on to the next match as well.
Especially as Survivor.
There's not a person out there right now that is excited to play against a Skull Merchant. There, I said it. Not a single person is happy.
Not a single person. No. I get at least one every stream that comes in and is just like, am I the only one that enjoys Skull Merchant? I guess I'm just kind of quirky. And I'm always just like,
fucking DVD
I just ignore them.
Bro. Like, there's no chance what you're saying is real, bro.
Yeah.
Okay?
You're lying. Next.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think DVD's a lot more fun. Sorry, go ahead.
This is the classic, like the guys are like, I don't see why everybody hates Nurse so much. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. All right? just shut the fuck up. You're either at your MMR is 11 or you're lying. There's no third option. Okay? And like,
yeah. I do think that Nurse is fun to play against if they're an average or below average nurse. She's so much fun, but if they even have a remote idea of what to do with her, then
there's like a really sweet spot for Nurse. So like, she's either like, they don't know what they're doing and it's kind of boring because you just kind of do gens and leave and kind of laugh at how bad they are, which is kind of cruel. Then there's like the average where it's like, oh, this is a fun Nurse. It's a bit of a back and forth. And then they figure it out and then it's miserable.
So it's really telling of a killer though, if it's like, well, they got to be bad for it to be fun. You know, they got to be bad.
No, to be fun, they've got to be bad enough. Like they've got to whiff some of their hits.
They just can't hit every single blank.
The worst ones are more. I don't know. I'm with you, Gary. I do agree that the back and forth is fun, but like, there's very few things that are more fun than running a Nurse for 5 gens. That just can't touch you. Like a really bad Nurse is fun too. Let's admit it. Let's just admit it.
I don't mean they're fun. They're funny.
They're fun.
Like it's like you're not having fun.
It's not fun for you to have this overpowered, this S+ unbeatable killer just flailing, getting pallet stunned. Like that is so fun.
That's funny. Like I don't think like it's so fun. It's not a fun match of DBD because it's It's just I'm laughing at someone
you're weird.
having
It's
a bad time.
unintentionally fun.
It's so fun. I don't know. Don't virtue signal. Oh, it's not fun. I don't want to hurt the poor nurse. Like, shut up. It's so fun.
I don't know. I
get shit on nurse.
I want them to have a bad time because I want them to quit nurse.
Yeah.
I don't want them to push through that. I want them to have a very bad time so they don't get to this bit where they go,
Gary.
I'm starting to figure it out.
Fun.
I'm a nurse, man.
To hurt the nurse. Oh, it's not fun. Jesus, Gary.
That's funny.
I have had.
It's also fun. Making funny things happen is fun, Gary. That's how fun works.
You're not the one making the funny thing happen, though.
God, Gary. Oh, I gotta calm down.
I'm imagining Gary playing against the nurse and he's cackling. He's like, I'm not having any fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's only funny. It's not fun. God,
No,
Gary,
like,
you're the
I'll laugh
worst.
at them, then I go, but that ultimately was it's a bad match of DVD. It's not interesting.
Oh
Gary will
my
have like
God,
tears in his eyes from laughing so
semantic.
hard, and he'll be like, "What a miserable match."
That was a funny match, not a fun match. I'm putting it in the funny column on my Excel
someone gets
spreadsheet, not the
pissy
fun
if-
column.
You get pissy if, like, imagine a Ghostface wants to, like, meme. You're like, no, this is not what I want. I just want to get blood points and move on. I've seen you do it.
True. Yeah, real. What does that have to do with anything?
Because they're being funny, but they're not being fun.
Maybe that is fun.
You want to play a competitive match against Ghostface when it's nurse, you're like, actually, no, I just want to laugh at it and have a little giggle.
Well, no, I don't want to
Doug
meme.
wants
I don't
them
want
to
to.
be-
I don't want to farm with them. I want them to suck ass
Yeah,
so I can
Doug
run them
wants
for
to-
5 gens and it's funny.
Doug
And I
wants
can
them to be
teabag 'em.
unintentionally funny. He wants them to be like
Yes.
Tommy Wiseau playing killer.
Thank you. God, John, you just get me, bro. John just gets me.
If
Why is
they're-
Gary so complicated?
If they're just getting up and they're just like being funny on purpose, that takes all sucks all the fun out of it.
It takes all the joy out of it if they're just
Yeah.
farming.
Yeah.
A farming nurse, I'd DC on that.
I get it,
I'd
Doug. When you go
keep fighting leave.
when you watch a comedian, you hate it because they've planned it all out. But when you watch someone fall over in the street,
That
like,
is not what I meant, dude.
That's my kind of
Not
comedy.
what I meant.
That's what that old person fell down. Oh,
That is really funny though, right? Like we love when people fall down. That's really funny. Gary knows. See, Gary knows because he knows that's like my favorite thing. That's why he did that. He's trying to get back in my good graces. I feel like it worked.
So Gary, would you say this conversation is funny but not fun?
No, it's definitely fun. Doug's involved.
Aww. See, he's push pull. Gary's so pushy.
Well, this conversation's boring.
Yeah, I'm so bored, dude. He's trying
Yeah,
way too hard to have fun.
bored.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, what were we talking about? We were talking about DVD
Tryhards.
players. Yeah.
Sweats, yeah.
Right.
Everyone's
Yeah.
trying hard. Everyone's complaining.
Right? Is the TLDR? Do we agree the TLDR is that people are just playing DVD and that people have expectations that because there's an event, people will no longer play DVD? They'll kind of play a more chill version, and that's an unreasonable expectation to have.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think you should expect anyone to be nice in the game during the event. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I think you can still complain about the same things you would complain
Yeah, like
about.
Of course,
getting,
outside
getting,
the
getting
event.
tunneled at 5 gens still annoying.
Yeah.
Getting camped at 5 gens
Yeah.
still annoying.
Yeah.
True.
But it was true before, it's true afterwards.
Yeah. But I will say, I do get annoyed when I go into a game and somebody plays something other than a cake.
Yeah.
That is annoying.
Okay. What do we feel? I know that there was some Twitter posts about this, and I've been kind of detaching from DVD Twitter a little bit more lately. Although I did make
That's a
a
good
post.
decision.
I made for this post that blew the fuck up. We'll talk about this later.
Mhm.
But,
That's our next topic, actually.
I
And then
can't
for
wait.
this section.
I can't
That's
wait. We're
be
gonna
30
lose.
minutes long.
We're gonna lose people on this made for this talk. I guarantee it. People are gonna leave the podcast. But no, I was just gonna say I've been kind of detaching. But somebody made a post regarding the idea of like, should you have to play a cake to get the bonus from the other cakes? And I would argue yes. Like,
Yeah.
there is no excuse for not running a cake during the event. You're just being
Especially-
a hoarder and you're being selfish.
Especially
stop.
with the blood web changes and like it's cheaper than ever. They're basically free. Like there's no
Yeah.
excuse to not have like 50 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
least.
even if you're a
Yep.
casual player, like you can spend like 100K and get like 2 or 3 cakes, and then use cakes while you play, and you will end that session up on cakes no matter what. Like you're always
Yeah.
going to keep getting cakes.
Yeah.
You spend your points.
Anytime now that it loads in and I'm like on Survivor and it's like cake, Black Ward, I'm like, up, DC. Get me out.
do
No
it.
way I'm doing that.
Do it.
I'm not playing
Fuck
against Mother Daughter Ring Spirit or Alchemist Ring Blight
Yeah.
just so you can get quadruple
Yeah.
blood points. Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting
No.
500. They're getting 500%
Oh,
with their
the worst
killer
thing-
bonus, so they can protect their fucking add-ons, man. Like, come
Right.
on.
Or even
No.
worse, sometimes cake, nothing. Survivor pudding. Right. What's the point of this match? What's the point? This is a waste of my time.
I will be honest to tell you guys though that I've been spending my points. I'm prestiging Bubba and Pinhead right now, and I definitely was like, I got some requests in chat, so I was playing like Spirit, or I was playing Huntress, and I was playing other random killers, and I definitely used Survivor pudding because that's all I had. And I'm like, I'm not gonna put points into Huntress. Like, I don't need any add-ons on this person.
Just put 2 levels into Huntress, you'll get a cake.
Yeah.
Or put 0 levels in. Get my 100% anyway.
So Doug's part of the problem in 2 ways. I saw John's face when you said Pinhead.
Yeah, this is very Pinhead-like behavior of you.
Yeah, well, I'm up to Prestige 28, John, and I'm going to dedicate that 100 to you, buddy. There'll be a Twitter post and everything, buddy. That one's got your name all over it.
Can't wait to see the Pinhead content.
Yeah.
I had a great match against the Pinhead this week, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, he tried to tunnel me out of the game, and I spun him and eventually walked out with hope and made for this.
John, can I ask you, was it a fun game or a funny game, though?
It was both. It was so funny.
Well, because I don't know how Prince Gary would standardize it. Like, at what point does it cross over into the fun zone?
Well, it sounds like John got to have like fun chases and play DVD whilst also laughing at them being bad. So
yeah, like if you're going to,
I think John nailed his description, Doug. I don't know why you're confused by it.
They followed me around the entire match.
Killer Man.
It was so funny. They were just constantly being like, there's the Yunjin, time to tunnel her out. He was trying to do it for like 3 gens worth.
I had a similar game this week. I forget who I was against though, but like when they just target you and they can't catch you, like you've picked the wrong target.
So
Pick
funny.
someone else.
It's
like
so
this isn't
funny.
working for you.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about the event, but I feel like this event I've gotten hard tunneled for 5 gens more than any. I like just in the sessions, like just in sessions for these. I feel like that people kind of do like kind of key on somebody. Like, I don't know, maybe it's not related to the event, but now that I'm thinking about it, over the last 2 weeks, I've gotten like hard focused a lot, like where they just like only want me.
Yeah,
same.
And when that does happen, it's sometimes handy to bring a build that is like dedicated to the chase.
Gary's
to be
right now.
What kind of build are we talking about, Prince Gary?
I don't know. You could bring some kind of perk that might help you if you're like injured, and it might speed you up by 3%. Called
Resilience.
Dead hard.
But resilience is a good shout with it. So there's a lot of discussion in the air about Made for This. So Doug, you had a tweet. Do you want to?
Could we give a quick reminder about what Made for This does for anyone that maybe slip in their minds?
So Made for This, whilst you are not exhausted, you get a 3% boost whilst you're injured. So you get 3% haste, basically. You move faster. And also, when you finish healing somebody, when you finish healing a state, you will get endurance for 10 seconds, I think.
Yeah.
And that's it in a nutshell. It's weird that you get the endurance thing. It feels like there should be a separate perk. I don't really... But the 3% thing's the bit that people were particularly upset about.
Okay. So it's been well established. I'm a killer main, right? I've played killer in this game.
You're really trying to force that
just look at his hat. Look at
you guys didn't know. First of all, look at the hat. Second of all, I've been playing killer since 2016. Okay, since the beginning. Okay.
Oh wow, you must have a lot of hours.
I have so many, even upwards of 12,500 plus. So I have played a lot.
Is that on Steam alone?
Just on Steam, not counting console, which is probably another 1,000 hours, probably. If I had to guess.
Wow, you should get in your title.
You know what? I'm thinking about it, Gary. That's really smart and wise. You seem like you would teach college classes, I feel like. Yeah, so all of that being said, I have seen a lot of things come and go in the game that are broken and that are unfair and that are, okay, this needs a look. I am beyond confused with how hard people are overreacting about Made for This. Like, to me, it's just such like a massive overreaction. And I mean, John, we had you went to war with somebody in the comments, right? Like on the podcast last week.
I wouldn't say I went to war.
I mean, well, not with the war. You just you went to bat for the boys to talk about like why because we all agree, the 3 of us, 2 survivor mains and a killer main. Don't we all agree that Made for This is maybe not that big of a deal? Maybe
I don't think you heard me, Doug. It's 3% haste when you're injured and not exhausted.
Yeah.
Did you?
So in roughly 3% of the matches you see Made for This, right? Roughly 3% of those matches, you're going to have a person who might make it to a window or make it to a pallet they wouldn't have normally made it to. I guess if you're playing killer and just opting not to use their power ever, you'll probably struggle a lot. with Made for This. Because if you're just, because again, I've heard a lot of the pushback I've heard about it is like, okay, well, running in a straight line, this is how much extra time they get after you hit. Because there is a factor of after you hit the survivor, after you M1 them, they do get an extended speed boost thanks to the extra movement speed. They get more distance than they would have normally gotten thanks to Made for This, right? But at the end of the day, it's
another part
such like
called Overcome that no one has a problem with, though. So.
Yeah, Overcome is on. That's actually going to give you a huge amount of distance. And the thing is, if you play killers with strong powers like Blight, like Nurse, like Wesker, distance doesn't mean shit anyways because you just catch right back up. Like that's the whole thing. So it's like, again, people are overreacting so hard. And then this is what pisses me off. And this is what made me make the tweet, right? I played for like a week straight with this Made for This meta. And yes, there's a ton of people running it. And I'm still performing, playing Bubba, playing Pinhead, playing Nemesis, the killers that I enjoy to play. Not S-tier killers. I'm not a Nurse and Blight main. I'm running mid-tier to upper mid-tier killers, right? I'm not struggling against it. Okay. And I'm not the best killer player in the world. I stream, I interact with chat, I look for a 2K or more. Like I'm more of a entertainer than I am an esports player these days, right? I'm not struggling against Made for This. It's not that big of a deal. And I play more. If you're hearing me, I probably play more than you, and I probably play at a higher of a margin because I play a lot and I win a lot. Okay. So what I'm starting to get now, because I will sit here and be like, okay, well, tell me why it's so busted. Show me how it's so hard to deal with. They're like, well, it's not a problem now. It's going to be a problem later when people really figure it out. And that shit.
What is there to figure out? Sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
It's one of those, Dead Hard didn't seem like a problem until it was a problem. And that's true because Dead Hard, when they first reworked it, right, the people had to learn the new timing. They had to learn new ways to make it effective. They had to learn to use it at windows and palettes. Like it took a little time.
It wasn't a problem.
I agree. We'll go back. We can go back to Dead Hard if you want, even though the perk's dead now. But like the reality is, I agree with what Gary's saying. I mean, it really never was a problem. It's just a strong. Somehow, these fucking AIs that play Dead by Daylight need to understand that a strong perk isn't a problem. Sorry, guys, but like eventually a perk has to not be dog shit, or else everybody's just going to run the same passive. Everybody's running Prove Thyself. Everybody's running slowdowns on Killer. Like anytime there's a fun active perk that is good, they want it nerfed, and then they complain that the meta's stale. So I tweeted, not the DBD community claiming Made for This needs a nerf because it's going to break the game later. You guys are the reason the meta stays stale. And I stand by that forever. That is like, I stand by that sentiment to this moment, and I stand by it forever. Like, you can't worry about what a perk's going to do later. Just play the fucking game, man. Like, let it be a problem when it becomes a problem.
One common argument I see is that it's just like, everybody's running it. Everybody's running Made for This. And I'm like, well, that's because like the old guard of Survivor perks all got gutted in the past year.
Yeah.
Decisive Strike.
And it's new and fun.
Dead Hard. Yeah, and it's new. It's like a new strong perk that's like, oh, this is kind of fun. I get to be faster. Great.
It's
fun.
To
add into Doug's points as well, like as someone who is, I play a certain amount of Killer as well. I've been playing more recently because I've been really in a Nemesis mood. I'm probably not the highest of MMR, but I'm not noticing Made for This cause me that much of an issue either. And I play Nemesis, Pig, and Huntress. Huntress which is one of the killers that people are being like, it's a 110 killer. How are you supposed to win? And I'm sitting there throwing my hatchets and going,
you have a literal ranged attack.
That's how I do it.
You have a power.
Yeah.
You have a power. If you're relying on running somebody down in a straight line with a 110 killer, you're fucking bad at Dead by Daylight, bro. Yeah. I'm sorry. Like, you're just not good.
To add to it as well, if you are having trouble as Huntress or something like that against Made for This, and you feel like it's causing you to lose games, bring Fearmonger, bring Exhaustion Hatchets. There are counters. You can counter these things.
But the thing is, I think if you're having that much trouble with Made for This, that you're bringing Exhaust Hatchets and Fearmonger, the problem isn't Made for This. You know what I mean? Yeah. Still going to lose those matches. But yeah, it is. There are resources available for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
another common thing I hear is like, well, what about when they pair it with Hope at endgame? Okay,
that's my favorite combo at the moment.
Yeah, this is going to be
really fun.
This is going to be a hard pill to swallow, but don't let them finish 5 gens.
The thing is too, is like,
okay, you don't have to worry about it.
Made for This and Hope is 10%, right? It basically makes the Survivor a 110 speed character, right? Which you're still faster than as a standard 115. But Hope has been in the game for forever at 7%. Is there really that much of a difference between 110 and 107? Like that it's game breaking? Because I don't think so.
There's not
107
really.
is still very fast. And Hope has not been an issue in the game ever. I rarely ever saw it before this like Made for This meta came along and people were like, oh, you can combo them. Great.
I have noticed that a lot of the clips of people were showing it being like, look at this, I can't catch them. They're not even trying to mind game.
They just hold W.
Yeah, they just hold down W.
We talked about
around the rock.
Yeah, we talked about the rock clip where he could just back up to the gate. And be like,
oh my god! Did you see that? Someone tweeted. I forget who it was. They tweeted. It was Huntress chasing them around like one of the hay barrels on Fractured Cowshed or something.
Yep.
Yeah, they showed it and they were like, going, "Look, Made for This is a problem." And they got all the people being like, "Yeah, look, this is a fine example." And then they zoomed out like a week later or something to show they weren't running Made for This. And it was just confirmation bias that everyone was like, "Yeah, look, it's OP," and I thought that was hilarious. I forget.
I didn't see.
Made me laugh.
I didn't see the swerve, but that's really funny.
You said it was Huntress, right? The killer.
Yes, yeah.
Because I would consider myself a Huntress main on killer. I play more Huntress than
you're a good
killer.
Huntress.
And I have been in that situation so many times where you're chasing somebody around a rock and you lose the chase music and you're like, what the fuck? She's just that slow. It's not made for this.
Yeah. Well, and then again, I mean, if you're out here and the banner you're carrying and the drum that you're beating is, well, if they can pair Hope and Made for This, they get 110 end game. Run fucking Noed, dude. Run Noed and you get most of that percentage back, right? Like I doubt that the people that are complaining about Hope and Made for This are also out there doing Reddit posts about how Noed needs a nerf because it's not fair that you can be 7% faster at endgame as killer, right? Nobody's worried about that. People bitch about Noed, but it's just
right.
It's just an overreaction. It's like DBD and DBD Twitter. They like need something to just be incensed about. Like
also, I think this is part of it. You know, do you remember when DBD did the big change in 6.1.0 where all killers became 10% faster at breaking pallets, at swinging, etc., right?
Yeah.
People have now, gotten used to a certain thing. So a lot of killers are whiffing. I've noticed. Like they're just I'm seeing more whiffs than usual.
Me too.
And it's because they're going for the lunge that you would hit. But I remember one thing from killer mains in particular was saying, just adapt. You'll just adapt, Survivor. Stop complaining, you'll adapt, which they did, like
if
the Dead Hard thing.
If you get 3-gen, it's your fault.
Yeah.
I had to hear that on repeat for 6 straight months. If you get 3-gen, it's your fault. If you get 3-gen, it's your fault. Your fault.
Yeah. And it's the same thing now. Like, killers just have to adapt. I am. Like, I don't push that lunge anymore. I make sure I'm going to get the hit. I don't. Yeah. It's very rare that you have to risk it to get the pallets done or whatever, but, like, occasionally you do, but...
Occasionally.
I just haven't noticed a major difference to my game.
Occasionally you're going to miss a fucking swing, man.
Yeah.
Occasionally that's going to happen. Oh, God. Like, yeah. We don't want a stale meta. And everybody's complaining about prove thyself and complaining about off the record and adrenaline and blah. It's just like, now we have a new perk and it's exciting. It's fun. They have to be injured to use it, which like puts you at an advantage. Would if I could start a match and have all 4 survivors be injured and 3% faster the entire match, I would take that every single time.
Yes, every time.
I would take that every single match.
Time.
So, and then I hear the complaints about like, well, they should have to do, it's not fair that they just get it. They should have to activate it. They should have to do something for it. It's like, why? But why? What do you have to do for Scourge Pain Res? You just have to hook someone on a white hook. What do you have to do for fucking Noed?
What do you do for Jolt?
They don't cleanse totems.
Kill stuff near gens.
Yeah. What do you have to do for Jolt? Just down them close. Like, sorry, killer mains, but like sometimes perks are going to just be passively strong. And actually, we've had them for a while.
Interesting. I was in Doug's chat the other day and someone asked me, what perk would I nerf in DBD? If I could pick one perk that I could nerf, what would it be? And I said nothing. I think right now, there's no perks that I see any reason to change.
Yeah.
Maybe I would like buff DS, but at the same time, the game seems fine as it is, so I don't care.
Yeah, as a killer main, I would buff DS as well.
I agree. Now that the gen kick shit is out of the way, there's really nothing that sticks out to me. I would say I wouldn't mind if they nerf Prove Thyself, just because I think it's kind of boring, and I think that we need to kind of like normalize gen speeds as much as we can. And I would be fine with that being nerfed. Like, I would be like, yeah, sure, fair enough. Kind of overdue. But I'm not going to crusade for it.
Well,
I don't think
that
it's necessary.
kind of speaks to where I think we're all at with it, right? Like, there is definitely perks that I would be like, that makes sense if they nerfed it, prove
Right.
myself as one specific, but which is the same one that came to mind for me too, because again, it's just like, but again, like I wouldn't argue for it to be nerfed because it's the kind of the same argument as made for this. Like, it's like you just get it for existing, you just get to have faster gens, but again, then they have to double up on a gen, which is not ideal in terms.
Right. Yeah.
The perks are not the issue. Maps, I think maps and individual killer reworks are kind of what we need right now.
So a lot of the new maps need reworks,
perspective.
and a lot of the new killers need reworks.
No, I think Toba Station's a great map. I'm continuing to think that that's a great map. Like I'm on both sides. I'm continuing to feel like the new map kind of dope. I don't know about you guys.
I played on it a few more times since last episode, and I'm not as down on it as I was before, but I would say I'm still neutral.
I'm pretty neutral on it, but I still would like to see it reworked in a way that makes it more visually understandable.
Yes, that's my big thing. And I get that that's like the opposite of what they're going for. They're going for you like dropping on Toba Landing and being like, "Oh, I'm in a hostile territory."
I know.
You know
someone in my chat came and went, "Do you feel like you're in danger? Do you feel like anything could kill you?" Because that's what they described the map as, right? Of what they were going for. And I was like, no, because there's no risks on this. There's nothing here that could help me other than the killer.
I feel like that's a question that you ask to somebody who's new to DBD, not somebody who has thousands of hours. If you have more than like 200 hours in the game, it's like.
But it did make me think. I would like it if they reworked it and made plants like grab you or something. Like make the flora dangerous.
Right.
I don't know. Just make it a really stupid map. Why not?
I think if they were to do something, I'm not against that, but I think if they were to have like basically like free nemesis zombies as part of the map, then they would have to make the loops a bit stronger to compensate. Yeah.
I think it's got strong loops and strong tiles. I think people just aren't figuring it out yet. That's what I think. And I think
I will say there's some really nice tiles against Nurse.
Yeah.
Or you can make nurses very upset. Yeah. I want to see those put on other maps.
I had a great match against. I can't believe I'm saying this. I had a great match against Nurse this past week on Toba.
Were they bad?
Yeah, was it fun or was it funny though, John? Like, what?
No, they weren't. They actually weren't bad. They were like a decent nurse. They weren't a god nurse, or else we would have just, immediately lost. But it was actually pretty close. We got down to 1 gen, and I lost her a couple times. It was pretty cool.
I went on DC on that map.
But ultimately, you guys
did not like that loot.
Ultimately, you guys lost at 4 gens, though, right? Is that what you're saying? You got down to 1 gen, but then you guys lost.
Yes.
That's how you can tell Nurse is so dog shit. Is that you're like, I had a great game against a Nurse, man. We got down to 1 gen left. What a great match. What a great Nurse match.
Honestly, I consider
we almost got to endgame collapse.
If we could complete 2 gens against a Nurse, I consider that a win.
Yeah. You're having such a rough match. You're like, we haven't done a single gen. Someone's dead. It's like it becomes if we can just finish 1 gen, it's a win. Finish. Yeah. So just make sure it's down to 4 gens left. We'll count it as a W.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I do that shit all the time. It's like, come on, man. Let's do the best we can do.
That's hard commit. Let's get 1 gen done.
There's so many win conditions that I have. It's like there's the conventional win where you escape, and then there's like if I can get 2 head-ons, that's a W for me.
Yeah.
It just changes.
Or a head-on and a flashbang.
Oh. To bring it back to Made for this real quick. I feel like this is just the latest controversy of like a perk being overreacted to, and I don't know if we brought this up last week, but I'm reminded of like the hyper focus panic. That I mean, who's complaining about hyper focus now? Remember before For the People came out.
Yeah,
talking about throwback, and people were like, "This is gonna change everything."
What's the Hanadu perk? The one where like you get your exhaustion reset.
Blood rush.
Yeah. Blood rush was gonna break the game, boys. It was gonna ruin the game.
Wide open, yeah.
I tried bringing it. I can't get a use out of it. It sucks.
It's because it's hard.
Y'all remember before Shell came out, people were complaining about Soul Guard.
Yeah,
they were like, "This is gonna be use it with Unbreakable."
I lost a game. I lost a game to Unbreakable Soul Guard the other day, and I was like, "Yeah, dude,
yeah,
good on you."
I've lost a game to Soul Guard too, and when it happened, I was shocked. It was great.
I did see people start to complain about force hesitation very briefly, but that seems to have died off.
Yeah.
That's the one where when you down someone, the people around them in a certain radius get slowed.
Hindered,
Like 10%,
yeah.
I think. Yeah, hindered, yeah. But that seems fine to me too.
It sucks when it happens to you, but I haven't gone down to it. I've just been like, uh-oh, I'm moving slow.
I think it's just people that like to do flashlight saves are like, I can't do it against this perk.
Yeah. That's a shame. We want more interaction generally, but oh well.
But
I haven't really noticed it.
Well, it's the same thing that like, people in Franklin's like.
So
there's other ways to spoil it.
The hard line, the spine chill hard line, killer main, 2 survivor mains. Made for this is an overreaction, and it's not going to be a problem, right? That's what we're agreeing on now.
Yes.
Like a year from now, we'll look back on the made for this controversy and be like, it was such an overreaction.
I don't like that I'm getting called a survivor main here.
If you play 51% survivor, you're a survivor main, Gary. You play more survivor than killer?
By that, then I'm a survivor main, yeah.
Well, no, by killer main standards, if it's even like a 70-30 ratio, 70 killer, 30 survivor.
I mean, if we look at that ratio, if we use that ratio for like, I don't know, like a month or something, Doug, then you're a survivor main. You're probably the biggest survivor main here.
No, because not if we reset it for a week ago.
If we do a month.
I'm back on killer. I'm back on killer, man. I went really hard on the bonus for a while. I'm playing both sides, but I enjoy killer more, I think. So I've been playing more killer lately. Yeah, and again, like we've talked about this for months now, is that you kind of set the tone and the pace of the game. And if you go in with low expectations and just have a good time, you're gonna have a good time.
You're a lot more often.
Yeah, you literally are the power roll in the sense.
So there's someone screaming. There's some killer main screaming in the background. I can just hear.
Swift is the real power roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I run Swift, I run with people from chat, and I have no comms, and I just the only thing you're required to do is bring a cake. So we're not exactly
a good policy.
We're not setting up death squads out here. But I think the made for this is, it's again, I hope it doesn't get nerfed, because if it gets nerfed, then we'll never know. But I think if it doesn't get nerfed in 3, 6, 9 months, no one's going to be talking about made for this anymore.
I think the only thing I would see changing about it is taking off the endurance thing.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, and just make it because honestly, it's enough. The passive 3% haste. It's enough to make it interesting.
I've seen really good plays. I've had really good plays run on my team and against me with that endurance, and that's something to like. Because here's the thing, man.
I love the endurance thing, but I just think it should be its own perk.
You have to take a risk to get that endurance heal off. You have to be out there healing while injured and putting yourself at risk.
Yeah,
so to me, it's like people are complaining that like, well, made for this is a free perk, you just get it, but like, in order to get that endurance benefit, you have to put yourself in danger. That's a risk,
right?
So I think.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just said
I get really excited.
No, go.
Yeah, no, I think one thing also that we haven't mentioned about made for this is that you can't run exhaustion perks with it.
Nope.
Like, I mean, you can, but as soon as you get exhausted, made for this goes away, so you can't get the benefit from both of them simultaneously, and that's a big sacrifice to go in without lithe, sprint burst, even dead hard, balance landing, something like that, head on. Yeah, you can't. If you're running made for this, you're running made for this as your exhaustion perk, basically. And so it's not like you just get it. You have to change your build because everybody runs an exhaustion perk, right?
I have been running it with head on.
Yeah,
because I accept that like when I'm using head on, it's usually when I've given up on the chase. It's now I'm going to stun them and try and use this loop for as long as possible. So I just use made for this as long as I can, and a quick and quiet head on play, and I just
like you can do that, but then you don't get the benefit of made for this.
Yes,
yeah. That's what I'm saying. So I think that's definitely something that a lot of people are just conveniently leaving out of the conversation.
No, I agree. Yeah. I think I agree. Like I think we're all on the same page. Made for this is fine. People need to stop panicking and trying to find something to be like. Maybe look inwards. Stop blaming a perk for you losing. Maybe consider that you played it wrong. What would you say, John?
Go find a lake to stare into.
Yeah, top 1 to top 5% survivors are going to be able to use made for this very effectively. They were already going to loop you, Todd. You know what I mean? Yeah. But they were already going to loop you. Now you're just getting looped 3% faster. It doesn't mean anything, dude. Chill out.
Yeah.
You're not playing on the main stage of DreamHack. There's no money on the line. Made for this is probably not impacting you. You're probably not that good. All right.
I did see people trying to say like
Todd.
I did see people trying to say that they can't see subtle hackers anymore. But like I don't think hacking's a giant problem in DBD anymore. It's like I feel like people re-stretch and try and find a reason to be like, this needs to go.
Yep.
Right.
People
I mean, you see the lines, right? Yeah. So there's an indication that it's being used. If somebody's moving faster and there's no lines, then they're hacking, right? Am I oversimplifying?
See what lines? What do you mean?
From haste.
Does haste leave lines?
I thought it left lines.
What?
If it does, I don't notice them when I'm chasing because I'm sweaty.
On the Survivor.
What?
Aren't there like little haste lines? Am I way
You mean
off?
like a haste icon?
No, like lines, like, you know, when someone runs really fast, they might have like trails of wind in a cartoon or something.
Is that real?
Am I thinking of a different effect?
Are you thinking of the Nicolas Cage trailer?
No.
Because he had lines.
Okay, because like if this is a real thing and I don't know about it, I'm gonna feel real dumb. Which happens.
Well, this is perfect. Leave a comment below if there are haste lines in Dead by Daylight.
I don't think there are.
After you tell us that you've voted or rated 5 stars on the Spotify.
What am I thinking of then? I've definitely seen that in the game.
It could be like a really subtle thing that
there's like a visual indicator when you get bloodlust on your screen.
No. Am I thinking of like blight serum or something?
I don't know. John, I don't know. Like, you got me questioning everything over here, man. Like, wait, is there something I'm not noticing?
Typical Survivor main, am I right, Doug?
Yeah.
Hang on.
Of course he thinks May for this is okay.
But we're the ones of P100 survivors.
I know.
But I've definitely... What am I thinking of? Well, oh well.
The commenters will let us know.
Yeah, you might be right, John.
Now I feel like I need to go stare into a lake.
Let's all go stare into a lake. Or we could talk about the Singularity.
Who?
I don't know. Where the fuck have they gone?
I mean, it was like they were crazy, but they're crazy everywhere. And then when Wesker came back, it was like they kind of just petered out. Now I see maybe 1-2 Singularities per stream session. And I don't play him hardly. I've played him a fair amount now. I can
see Singularity.
I don't like playing him. He's not my style at all.
I enjoy playing him, but I would rather play Huntress and Nemesis.
Yeah.
Like, I think Singularity... The UX is just it's easy to enjoy. The sound of hitting some of a hatchet or my whip just feels infinitely better than everything.
Singularity feels very similar to the Hag to me, in the sense of like you play the game different and not like in a good way. I don't know. I don't like the whole strategic passive gameplay style where you set up, and Trapper to a certain extent is the same way you set up early game. But at least Trapper, like, I don't know, I feel like he is more fun in Chase than Singular. I see why people enjoy him. I know why you enjoy him, Gary. I think that I don't think he's a bad killer. I don't think he was a problem in the meta. I don't think there was anything wrong with him.
Niche as fuck.
I just don't see myself ever enjoying playing him. And maybe that's different. I'm gonna try this week. I'm gonna play him more. Because I need to prestige him. I need to get his adept. I have things I need to do on him. But I'm gonna wait till after the event, I think, because I don't want any kicks on him.
Don't finish the match inside one of the cameras.
Yeah, you told me that last week. Yeah. I remember that.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
I'm not gonna play him. I'm not gonna play him during the event because I don't want cakes on him. I don't want to lock myself into having to play him later. So I'll level him up after the event. Yeah.
But I think he just think that he's vanished,
and he won't be back. I don't think.
No.
Yeah, probably not. Unless
I think he's gonna be twins tier.
Yeah, like my initial reaction to it was I think this will be rarer than the twins, and I think that's increasingly likely to be true. Because it's not very fun to like it. I enjoy playing it, but I know that I enjoy a very, very specific part of playing it.
Right.
Which I think most people would be like, well, I'll just play Wesker.
Yeah.
Speaking of, there's a lot of Weskers around. Well, apparently. I mean, I'm only seeing him a few times a day still, but apparently every other match is Wesker. Has anyone else seen this on Twitter or experienced it maybe?
There's been a hot topic on Wesker and
Yeah,
whether or not he should be allowed to be in the game.
Well, I've seen people talking about, how there's like a map thing where you don't get the same map twice in a row.
Yeah.
People have been suggesting this specifically because of Wesker. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, can I tell you that this is going to be one of the rare times I'm going to get to pull this out as a fog whisperer. When they announced the map repeat prevention tool in the Fog Whisperer Discord, I mentioned, hey, is there any concept, even any thought process, even conceptually, of doing this for killers as well? Because like, I know that a lot of people have less of a problem playing against individual killers and more of a problem playing just against the same killer constantly. And that really roughs it up for the if nobody wants to play. There's not a lot of people out there that are like instant DCing against, Legion or instant DCing against Trapper. But like if you get 3 or 4 in a row, you're like, okay, I'm good. Like
usually you'll handle 2 in a row, but the third one's like,
yeah. And the variety on Survivor is almost completely limited to what killer you're facing. Because otherwise you're just doing 5 gens and getting out, right? And when I said that, they came back and were basically like, yeah, that's a far more complex project because there's like MMR involved, matchmaking involved, and like opting out of playing against similar killers could cause queues to be super long. Like it's probably not a viable thing, but I do 1000% understand. Like it gets so boring playing against the same killer over and over. I don't mind Wesker, but if I play against him 3 games in a row, I'm exhausted. I'm like, okay, let's do something else.
Yeah.
No, because I remember the week 1 of Wesker, or the week 2 of Wesker. Like the first couple of weeks
3.
of Wesker, like it was just all Wesker all the time, and I remember hating him. I firmly hated Wesker. I enjoyed playing him, but I was like, I hate him now though. I'm bored to death of him.
I got bored of Wesker too. I think it hasn't been that bad since then though, including now, even after they brought him back. I have not seen him as much as Twit is saying that he's appearing. And I've said this too. I like playing against Weskers. I think because, like I said, they're usually mean and not very good, and you can make them vault the window, which is really funny. And you don't get that with most other killers. So I think I like playing against Wesker.
I'll say it's probably quite dependent on how you get a lot of them, Doug, and it's probably kind of dependent on time of day. Who's playing. MMR might be a factor as well. Like there'll be certain elements that's probably why some people are suffering a lot more than others. Like I see him, he's probably the killer I see the most, but I don't see him every other match. Occasionally I'll get 2 or 3 in a row, but then I see a clown or something. I'm like, okay, we're fine. And then it's Blight, a knight occasionally.
Yeah.
Nemesis I've seen quite a lot recently as well. It's been quite nice.
Same, yeah. Yeah, I see a lot of Nemesis for some reason.
But yeah, so that's I don't know how behavior can like deal with the Wesker problem. If it's not really a problem, is the trouble.
I don't think it's a problem.
Like people just like him a lot. It is annoying, but
I mean, I'd rather play against Wesker than Nurse or Blight or Hag.
Although here's my opinion on it, and this kind of applies to if people saying about the event, these killers are stinky. Here's a bold idea. If you are finding when you're playing Survivor and you're going up against a lot of stinky killers, or you're getting bored of going up against Wesker, you could play killer. That's what I do. If I get fed up of playing Survivor, especially when I get like too many of the same killer or something, or I have a few bad games, let's play killer for a bit. It's fun, and then you can be the killer that you expect other people to be.
Be the change you want to see in the world. Yeah.
Although every time I see one of these,
like 4 escapes.
When you see like all those videos on YouTube and stuff, you'll be like, "Here's a TTV who's like very aggressive about killers the way they play, and then they play killer, and they do exactly the same thing."
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It's I feel like people lose all credibility when I see stuff like that because I'm just like, oh, you just don't like it when it happens to you. That's it.
Yep.
That makes your opinion far less interesting.
The other day, the match was it was on Coldwind. I was doing bad. They were like popping gens, and I was camping someone at Killer Shack. They were in the basement. I was like, I need to kind of make sure I get another chase first. I can't just leave this person to get unhooked. Yeah. And then they got unhooked. Someone stopped behind me and got them unhooked. And I was gonna tunnel them because I was like, I've got like 2 gens left, and this is like my first hook.
Yeah.
And then they turned around, stared at me, and I just felt shame. I killed the other 3. Like I managed to bring it back because I just went and dealt with the other 3 instead. I kept ignoring that, but I was like, no, you get to leave. No matter what, you're leaving. I felt bad. You went to stage 2. I was going to tell you I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
I managed to win it back. I was amazing. That first one was very thankful that I backed down. But it's like, I do believe, be the change you want to see. You'll get better at killer as well if you don't ton of one camp.
Yep.
True. There's Gary's lesson for the day.
Yeah. Be the change you want to see in the world.
Can I also, just on the subject of killers in the event and stuff, I've played against a couple Ghostface, and they have gotten stomped each time. It's every single time I've seen Ghostface being played or played against them, they've just gotten destroyed. And it just
Didn't
reconfirms.
he just get a buff?
Yeah. But it's like crouch speed and Night Shroud cooldown reduction. But it reconfirms everything that we said in our killer tier list, where we're like, he's a D-tier killer.
Yep.
I was talking with chat, actually. I was just like, what would it take to get him out of this? Because I honestly think he's one of the worst killers in the game now. Ghostface.
Agreed.
And not to say that you can't do well with him. You can do well with Trapper. You can do well with Myers. Yada, yada, yada. Right? But he's just one of the worst killers in the game. And I was like, what would it take? And I was like, what about no cooldown Night Shroud? Like, he's just permanently stealthed. That'd be insane, right? But then it's like, I don't know. We were kind of talking through it, and I was like, it's not like he'd be nurse level. It's not like he'd be better than like a B at best, even if he was like permanently stealthed with no red stain.
What if you took out his exposed thing, but he was permanently shrouded when he crouched?
That's what I'm saying.
You mean? So he doesn't expose people. He just goes into crouch, and you can't. That would be great. I'd play him all the time if that was his thing. I mean, it's kind of like
would he maybe have a terror radius during chase?
Yeah.
See, that's one thing that I'm like, well, they wouldn't do that because they just gave him new chase music, right?
Yeah.
But think how creepy that would be to have a Ghostface in the game. There's no terror radius, there's no chase music, there's no red stain, and he's just kind of an M1 killer, right?
Oh, that'd be kind cool.
Kind
the
of
mind
cool...
games at pallets.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, that would solve it. And he'd be fun.
Yeah. I just think the exposed thing, it's like, it's always been like too similar to Myers, in my opinion. And I don't know. I've never really used it when I play Ghostface, to be honest. I wasn't really big on the exposed thing. I would do it if it was obvious, but...
And honestly, I think the Myers part of Myers isn't that fun to go up against. I like getting, your hit stages and stuff. Like, exposed... When it's Devourer or it's Noed, it's different. When it's Myers, it's like a bit deflating, especially when it's Tombstone piece.
I like playing against Myers if it's not Tombstone piece, no Tuft. If it's not Infinite tier 3, then like if it ends, then I feel like it's kind of fun to be like, oh, I got to outlast the tier 3.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a fun element to his gameplay. But
I would agree. Like, Ghostface feels like a bit of a discount version of Myers.
Yeah. I was just thinking about it because I was just like, I really like to see Ghostface because I rarely see him now, and when I do, we just do gens and leave pretty much. So I feel like he needs kind of a redesign. And I mean, like, they keep coming out with new skins for him. There's a new skin in the event tome, right?
It looks cool.
Yeah, so it's like you want him to be played. It's just a shame he sucks so bad now.
I really like his ice cosmetic.
Yes,
icicles and stuff. That one's dope.
Yeah,
he's got some really cool.
He's got
ones.
great cosmetics. I want to love Ghostface, but I just don't. He's not fun to play. For me.
But if you were like permanently stealthed and you were just an M1 killer that could crouch, I feel like that would be enough for me to check him out again.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would also solve the problem that everyone has of his busted reveal too.
Yeah, because
like
the reveal
standing
thing
right in front
sucks.
of you. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about that anymore.
I think that's the thing I don't like about Ghostface is, from a UX perspective, he doesn't work because he's just annoying for him and the survivors. Like, it's just too buggy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
agreed. Very frustrating.
And if you simplify him, he may even become one of the most popular killers. Because Huntress is very simple. Wraith is very simple.
Yes.
Wesker's pretty simple.
Wesker's very simple.
Yeah. That was just something I was thinking about.
I like that idea, John.
Ghostface is near and dear to my heart. And it pains me I don't really play him anymore.
But no one can blame you.
That's right. No one can blame me.
The only other thing about Dead by Daylight is Nicolas Cage is up next, I believe, in terms of what we're expecting.
Yes.
We haven't got a
There's gonna be
date
new.
yet.
Well, there's gonna be new info. I think on the 5th. Is that right? July 5th.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
I said that. Yeah,
So,
which could be a PTB knowing behaviour.
could be.
No, they wouldn't do it during the anniversary event, though, would they? Oh, I think they did last year actually.
Well, they might schedule a PTB. Like,
Maybe.
I don't know.
I think they've done a PTB during an event like in the past though. Everyone was like, "Why are you doing this?"
They have done that because I remember thinking like, what were they thinking? Yeah.
Hopefully that's not what's happening though.
Yeah.
Especially with the event like that page 2 thing of needing 1 million gold like things, medals or whatever.
Oh yeah.
We need all bodies on deck. So yeah, that's DBD. Anything else we've missed out?
I think we've pretty much covered everything. We've complained about every single topic, so I think we're good.
We've given all our bad takes.
Yeah.
Speaking of, well, not bad takes as such, but maybe bad decisions. Last year, it's back.
Oh no!
Is it better than ever?
Hard to say because they haven't done anything with it.
They don't appear to have given any kind of battle plan for what's coming up with it. Like, I think, Doug, you were saying earlier, when was the last update?
It was either May 15th or May 19th. Which doesn't matter. Either one is bad.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Like, their whole thought process, I guess, was this is how last year has been fumbled. Last year has got some major VHS vibes in that, like, basically at every turn it's been fumbled, right?
Yeah.
So their plan was apparently purchase the IP, relaunch the game, make minor balance changes, and then ignore it for a month and a half. I guess that was the plan.
That's a terrible plan.
Because that's what they've done. Like they haven't, and they did a little developer note about like, hey, we're listening and we got a new patch coming. There's a new monster coming, or a new fiend coming. There's new stuff on the way. It'll be here any second, guys. And then not any second. Like we got it. We're doing it.
No.
We're doing it. And then they've just gone radio silent for a month.
Like, why even re-release it? It doesn't make any sense.
It seems like they'd been better off doing this radio silence before releasing it.
Yes. Like, what were they waiting for? I don't understand it. Or, like, you would think that how I would do it, and this is easy for me to say as someone who's not involved at all, but I would wait to re-release the game until you have, all that rebalance stuff, but then, like, also some new content to come back to, fully done, to release like a couple weeks afterwards or something to keep people
maybe a month after you go, and boom, here's a new killer.
Yeah, and like you tease it as just like, and just so you know, there'll be a new DLC or whatever in 1 month or whatever. Yeah, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever.
Yeah,
people just need to know that it's happening because right now it's like there's no roadmap.
Yeah, and it feels like they wasted their. They blew up. It was like there was like 1,000 people playing it opening weekend when they relaunched it. Right, there was people out there, and it feels like they wasted that. They wasted that hype.
Yes,
and very
like
similar.
did.
Yeah, very similar to VHS. Right, like you had an opportunity to showcase this and blow it up, and you showcased an incomplete product. Like now, and they're not even doing the prop night thing where they're just spamming us with new content.
Yeah,
forcing the game to stay relevant.
Well, it's like it's so difficult to drum up hype for these games that when you have it, you want to keep it for as long as possible. If it eventually, if you do everything you can, you put out the new content, you keep them updated. Like here's the roadmap, here's what we're working on, here's what's in the future, and they leave anyway, then so be it. But it's like it pains me to see these companies not even try.
Yeah,
they just put the game out and then they're like, "That's all we had to do, right? Let's go play it."
It does feel weird. There was no action plan, or at least it doesn't look. If they do have an action plan, then it was wrong.
Yeah, their action
it was a bad one.
Their action plan is like, "Hey, man, we got stuff coming later for sure. Just keep playing."
Yeah,
that's not.
Just trust us.
Yeah, May 19th.
I don't know why people would keep playing it. I mean.
Well, especially asymmetrical horror fans who have been burned so many times repeatedly from games being like, "Oh, we're working on stuff," and then they just disappear.
Yeah.
Which has happened to this exact game before.
Yeah. So they said on May 19th, they did a balance patch. And then they said at the very last paragraph, Now to the future. We love the reception everyone has had, and we're aware of the desire to see more. Our next step is getting the store properly relaunched and a new cosmetics made to come out periodically. We've also began work on the game engine updates and code cleanup so that we can make the game run smoother and look nicer. Finally, Chapter 2. Yes, it's coming. After we do the hard work, we'll have more to share in later months, including the newest theme. More to share in coming months is their roadmap.
That's terrible.
This is the issue. Like, they needed to, all of that back end stuff of making the game run better and all that stuff, do that before release.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, once it's out, you just want to be focusing on the DLC, the new
content
rollout, the new content, the cosmetics, all of that stuff. Because, like, I don't know how this game makes money.
They have a
ultimately,
store.
do you know why VHS? Yeah, but they have a store. But why would anyone buy anything in it? There's no reason to buy it. VHS had a store. It was a waste of time buying anything in that game because there was no reason to. You've got to have a plan of how you're going to sell these cosmetics.
Right. Yeah. It feels largely like they're going through the motions here, which is so frustrating because it feels like most asymmetrical horror games are just going through the motions.
Well, and it's almost like they're following the same blueprint that last year's original devs had. Like, you come in, you get it out there, you overpromise on what's coming, and then by the time that finally lands, people are already over it.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to be excited about last year Chapter 2 when it drops in 4 months, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like when VHS released The Anomaly on March 31st or whatever.
Yeah.
And it just arrived with a dud.
Yeah.
It's too late.
They were already over it. They were already over it, man.
It's because they released like bits and bobs of it, like prior to try and keep some level of hype up. But it was like, guys, you need an action plan.
Yeah, you
can't just. Okay.
I'm gonna give a little analogy, and that's my charity streams. So what makes them work is that they're planned in advance. There's a date. It's like treated like a big event. And it's all like on one day or stretch over a weekend. But I did try last year I was like, let's try to do a charity event all month long. And I raised less money in the month-long charity event than I did in any of the single events that I've done in the past few years. And it's because you can't do that. You can't just piecemeal it out. Like, you have to, it's far more effective to have everyone come at one time to one place for one single purpose, and you just throw everything at that instead of dragging it out and being like, oh, you can play the Anomaly in the custom game and all that stuff, and people get a taste of it, but they don't get the full thing yet. It doesn't work.
You don't want to breadcrumb people because they get tired of it, they get bored, and they move on.
Yes, exactly.
Blow it up.
Yes, make it as big as possible.
Like a Christmas dinner.
Yes.
Everything. Let's make it into food so it makes my brain happy.
Yeah. So you have one big Christmas dinner. You don't have like 12 days of Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, you can do that, but they're going to be less impressive. Less people are going to be interested in
it won't be as satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, I did not expect to discuss Christmas dinner on the podcast today in July. That's crazy, you guys.
July.
Christmas in July.
It'll fly by time.
Yeah.
Just like last year has flown by.
Yes.
I mean, they gotta be like, it's dead, right? Like, I feel like VHS has ruined my delusional optimism for these games. Like, I can't imagine a scenario where last year recovers from this.
No, I played 3 matches of last year, and I kind of assessed that it wasn't going to last.
Well, that's what you do when you play ASIMs, though, Gary. That's not.
I was right though. I was right again. I was like, "There's."
Whoa, my God! Betting on an ASIM to die. Wow, bold move, Gary. Bold move. I can't believe it paid off. Holy shit.
Their track record has been so pristine. Who could have seen it coming?
Who could have saw it? Only Gary could have seen that coming.
Thank you for the compliments.
Oh, you're welcome.
Speaking of asymmetrical games with rocky launches, there's a new one out recently. It's, well, sort of new.
Well, yeah.
Home Sweet Home Online is finally here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arrives with a whimper.
Home Sweet Home Online, formerly known as Home Sweet Home Survive. New Steam listing they migrated everyone's data over.
Which it did work.
It did work.
For the most part.
It mostly worked. I lost my bullet coins, but whatever. Yeah, there's a new game, new listing as of just a few days ago, and it comes with a brand new mode that all three of us have tried out called Battle Mode, which is the big addition, and arguably really the only difference between Home Sweet Home Online and Home Sweet Home Survive is the addition of this new mode, because everything else appears to be pretty much exactly the same as it was months ago with Survive.
Yes, graphically the game looks the same. Gameplay wise, it plays the same, except stamina's back.
Right.
Yeah, the only thing, there's not a European server, there's not a North American server, there's just the one server. So
yeah, so
Wait a second.
that pisses me off, man. The whole reason I was excited was because they promised we were going to be getting NA servers back, so I'd actually be able to play Warden. Right? I'm not playing Warden on 300 ping. Never again. I did that, and it's so infuriating.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of one of those, like, I'm a little cheesed, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the new mode is oh, go ahead, Gary.
No, you go.
Well, you guys played more than me, but the new mode does not inspire much from me. It kind of reminds me of when Evil Dead did their
the Battle Royale.
Their Battle Royale. Like, it's like, okay, this is interesting. It could be a way to break up the monotony, but like, I'm not gonna be a 4v4 battle mode main. Like, I want to play the ASIM. I like ASIM games. That's what I come to the ASIM game genre to play, as an ASIM, right?
What I found really interesting about the battle mode is that that's the default when you open the game.
Yeah.
Like when you pick between the modes, it's the one on the left hand side, which implies this is the one. This is the first one you look at, sort of thing.
They're like funneling you into it. That's like what they want their new mode to be, I guess.
Yeah.
So for anyone that doesn't know what battle mode is all about, well, it's not an asymmetric mode like their classic game mode, which is still available. It's a 4v4 mode in which you all start as visitors, the survivors, and you can have one person on your team transform into a warden and kill the opposing players, and you get points per kill. Whoever has the most points at the end of 15 minutes wins. So Gary and I played a bit of this, and it's very confusing to figure out as you're playing that that's how it works.
Yeah, it took a little while to figure out how you get points, because there's not really a particularly good tutorial. It just kind of has a few screenshots at the start that just kind of go, do these things, and you have a quick glance, and you have to figure it out. But it took us a little while to figure out why we couldn't be wardens, and it's because each team can only have one warden at a time. And as John says, they score points by killing visitors on the opposing team. Visitors can stun other visitors to help the wardens kill.
Yeah.
And to be able to become a warden, you have to pray at I forget what they're called, like the
sacrifice altars.
The sacrifice altars, yeah, thank you. You pray at those, and it spawns a warden transformation item. I forget what it's called, warden something or other. You use that to become
Warden
a warden.
Soul. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, but you have to, in order to use it, nobody on your team can be a warden, which we were both trying to use it, and we were like, it says you can't turn into a warden right now. And we were like, why?
I only played one round, but I was also not able to play as a warden, so.
Yeah, we were speculating, like, maybe we haven't prayed at enough altars. So I went and I prayed at 4 altars, and I was like, I still can't do it. I don't understand, And we figured out that it was like, only one person can be at a time. But it doesn't tell you that. It just says you can't be a warden. You'll never be a warden. But yeah, the gameplay is very similar to the asymmetric mode. You can stun other players, like Gary said. You can set up like door traps and things like that, and you can kill the opposing warden. At which time someone else on their team can turn into a warden if they have a warden soul. The thing is, the pacing of the match is very strange, because you start off doing the objectives and gathering warden souls, but as the match wears on, the wardens die so infrequently that by the end of the match, you've got warden souls everywhere that it can't be used. And I ran into the situation in each match where I was like, I don't know what to do except not die, because I've done all the objectives, I've maxed out my objective points. I've got items out of the chests and stuff, and I'm just kind of hiding. And it was kind of boring because in the asymmetric mode, you have a clear goal of like, we've got to complete the objectives to open the exit, and then you walk out.
Yeah.
As survivor or as warden, like I kill all of them. But in battle mode, at a certain point, it just becomes smarter to hide and not let the opposing warden catch you.
I would say potentially, I think 15 minutes might be too long for these kind of matches.
Yes.
If it was 10 minutes, it might feel okay.
Yeah.
So in the last 5 minutes is where it really starts to drag.
Yes.
It's like, I'm kind of done now.
Yeah,
there's just items everywhere. It's like,
yes, no, I'm usually pretty like patient, and dying in mid asyms are kind of my genre, right? But like even today, I was like, God, is this over yet? Like we only got 5. Yeah. I was like, oh, 5 more minutes of this? Like, come on.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel great. I just don't think battle mode is I don't think it's very interesting.
It's a very disappointing thing to see. That's what's changed about the game as well. Like that's the big thing.
Yeah. Another thing too is like as the match goes on, when you die, the longer you stay dead. At least that's what I could tell. I don't think it was related to death count. I think it was just like if you died at all, like towards the end, you were dead for way longer. And that also makes like the last 5 minutes, like you said, Gary, kind of drag on even longer than it should.
We also got confused because I got killed at one point and the enemy got 3 points for my death, and I still don't really know why.
Me neither. I think it was because we theorized that it was because you had just come off playing Warden and you got 3 kills. And so then when they killed you, there was like a bounty kind of
It could be
mechanic.
a balancing system, but I don't like that.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to play more this week. Maybe we'll be able to, can we circle back maybe and talk about it more next week?
Yeah, because I think I want to play the asym mode and see if it feels better.
Yeah.
Right.
Now that stamina's back. I will say there's a few other things to kind of judge the game on a little bit. It doesn't feel very optimized. The first time you open the game, it takes about 5 minutes to open. And then after that, it still takes a couple of minutes to open, like after that. The UI is a bit confusing in places and needs a bit of work. Like it feels very not quite ready for release.
Which is stunning because it was offline for so long.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then they announced it for June 1st, right? And then it took them to the end of the month to actually get the game out. So,
right. Speaking of, if you didn't sign up for the greedy pots, I think John was about to.
No, keep going.
I was going to say,
I'm angry.
That's run out now. So if you didn't sign up on their Google form, I think it was, to get the greedy pots, it's too late now. So I think it was 100 greedy pots and 100 of the other pots.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of loot boxes. I fucking hate that shit. I hate when they do that because they specifically said I was keeping up with the news. You know, I can't know life it and keep up with every single announcement they put out every 3 days for this game. But I was keeping track, and they were like, for every day that the game is offline, you're unable to play it, we'll reimburse you. We'll recompense you with in-game loot boxes and stuff. And I was like, great. And I was under the impression that would be automatic. But no, you have to go to their Twitter specifically. Maybe they posted one in the a plethora of announcements that they have on the Steam page. I don't know. But you have to go to the Google form and fill it out. And then as soon as the game launches, they take it away.
Yeah, then they gave it like a week afterwards, or like 5 days or something.
Yeah, like why is there's no extension? Like I wasn't even like the game was down. I wasn't thinking about it, and then you bring it back, and you're just like, yeah, no more survey. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I can understand the frustration with that. And then the fact that there's no EU or NA servers is a little bit annoying. Oh, sorry, Doug.
I just was gonna say I really like when John rants.
We all do.
Try to be.
The fact that it's missing the servers and I'm playing on high ping is kind of frustrating because as you were saying,
yes.
Doug, that was the one thing I was expecting was
they could have done nothing to the game and just released NA servers and I would have been happy.
Yeah,
because at least now I can play the game.
I'm just a little bit confused about why they've done this. I don't know what the point of Home Sweet Home Online is. It's the same game with this new battle mode, which feels a little flat. And then. The game's always had a bit of a confusing currency system, but that's still there, where you get bullet coins which is basically your blood points, amulets, which are basically iridescent shards, and then you can buy amethysts as your premium currency, which are like auric cells. But like, it's just like it's always DVDs is confusing, but everyone's used to DVDs. When you go to another game, it's like, there's so many different things to have to figure out. Oh.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, in that there's also like silver or something that you have to use for upgrades, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, and like. Well, there should just be two currencies. There should be in-game currency that you earn from matches, and there should be premium currency. Like Rainbow Six Siege has it perfect.
Yes.
They've got the currency you can buy and the currency you can earn, and that's it.
Oh, we should
and
play
every
some
game should be
Siege.
like that. Oh yeah, honestly, playing Home Sweet Home Online 4v4, I was just like, I just want to play Siege.
Yeah, let's play some Siege. let's play some Siege next week or something.
If I'm gonna play a symmetric game, might as well play that.
One other thing I wanted to. The victory screen is really boring.
Oh, it's terrible.
They may as well T-pose.
They basically do.
Yeah.
Oh,
T-pose.
imagine seeing a victory screen. You boys were privileged. I got the defeat screen.
Oh yeah. But you
I'm
can
pretty
buy
cracked to the
victory
game,
poses. You can buy victory poses for your characters to make more interesting poses, but I was looking at some of them and they just kind of stand a little differently.
Yeah.
It's not like to bring up Siege again, you can buy victory celebrations in Siege, but they'll do a whole animation. Sometimes it goes on for like 10 seconds. There'll be like a visual effect with it. It's really worthwhile.
Like Frost,
and cool.
where it's all like cold and it gets punched or something, and then there's like cooking something in front. Your best player gets to like really show off. It's awesome.
Dokebi brings her boombox out and does a little dance that strikes a
Oh god, we should play some Siege. I miss Siege.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, rather play that than this. I think the most damning piece of criticism I have for it is that it feels like Reverse.
Yeah, you said that. You said that this morning.
Yeah.
And that felt like I felt the sting, and I don't even work on the game.
Yeah. The battle mode in Home Sweet Home Online just feels like Reverse to me, which feels like a Gary's Mod mode. It just feels like something that you're going to play like a couple times, be like, oh, interesting. I can play as SpongeBob and, I don't know, beat up Thomas the Tank Engine or some shit like that. Cool. And then you log off and you never think about it again. That's kind of what it felt like. It's very forgettable.
Yeah. This is a bad launch.
Yes.
For Home Sweet Home Online. Like, I'm not particularly... I'm going to play a bit more of it, but I'm not eager to.
Yeah. I was hoping to be excited, but you know what? This will help make the decision a lot easier when Texas Chainsaw comes out. I won't have so many games to have to pick from.
Yeah. I feel like the heartbreak that I went through at VHS has hardened my heart to this stuff a little bit more. I had like no expectations. I wasn't excited. I was like, I would like to try it. I would love it. The fact that they didn't release NA servers like that, I don't know. Like, how do I even care? I don't.
Right.
I prefer.
I don't know why
Warden.
they're not there, because that was the whole point.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought.
I mean, have you?
They had the Steam issues, but
Did you try the ASIM? Maybe it's just Asian servers for the battle mode, and then maybe the ASIM has NA
maybe.
servers.
I mean,
I'll test. I'll check it after the
possible.
podcast. I'll look.
That'd be strange.
It would be very
Yeah, it would be. Well, everything about this launch has been fucking strange, Gary. So
They always
Yeah.
are for ASIM games. They always are.
Yeah, and especially with Home Sweet Home Online, they're about as eccentric as the Prop Night devs, frankly.
Real.
All respect to Yggdrasil, because I have enjoyed their single player games, but yeah, they've been very just all over the place with this. So
Honestly, so
It's just a
far
weird game, weird
TCM
launch.
might be the only the only ASIM game that seems to be doing their launch right.
yeah,
Look at you, Killer Clowns, that have vanished.
wow.
Yeah,
Bitter.
Gary is bitter and hurt, and I get it.
I
There were
was
weeks
very
and weeks
excited
on
for that
Spine
game.
Show where we spent 30, 40, 50 minutes talking about Killer Clowns, like
I thought
daydreaming.
it was
being
coming
excited.
before. I thought it was going to be out
same.
before TCM.
Same, I agree.
Mm.
The way they were talking and like revealing information, they've just completely vanished.
Oh, you want to know some sad news? So TCM Texas Chainsaw had a pre-launch
event.
party, in Austin, and I was excited to go, but I had COVID, and I was testing positive the morning of, and I couldn't
sucks.
go. Yeah,
Because
Damn, bro.
the chicken plushies look adorable.
I really wanted to go and meet everybody, and
Yeah, I
it's
saw
too
all the
bad.
pictures on social media. I got my fair injection of FOMO. I was like, these guys,
Yeah.
They had so much fun.
I just love
awesome.
the chicken plush. I was like, I want one.
They had like a whole like house prop built and everything.
so
It looked
good.
so cool.
And the van. At the
In the
van,
van, they had like a chainsaw you could have a photo op with. Like, it looked like a fun time.
it did it really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could have gone as well. But you know what? It's encouraging to see the devs of the game, and it's encouraging to see, at least to this point, the launch feels like it's being handled well. The technical test was very clean. Everything so far, when we talk about how VHS and Home Sweet Home have like fumbled at every block, and last year as well, it seems like on the flip side, Gun has basically just gotten W's every stage so far. It's just been overwhelmingly encouraging to see the way that they've been handling things. Outside of, I guess Gary took a little bit of an exception to Wes Keltner having escalated interactions with doubters and haters on Twitter.
Discourse a little sketchy, but he's fine now. He did another tweet where he went,
I mean,
I'm not doing that.
He probably had like a ridiculous number of people tweeting.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was
at
getting
him
on his
to play
fucking
devil's
nerves.
advocate.
I know what game.
Way more than usual.
I've released my game. I remember people being like assholes to me. It's fucking irritating. Oh, it's just like FNAF. Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Wait, is your game just like FNAF? I should try it.
But he did do one tweet where he said like, I think he was really well articulated, where he said like, we have a vision for this game and we're gonna stand by the vision and hold on to that. And
right.
I thought that was a really nice way of saying like we're gonna stick with what we want to do first before we start like majorly changing it based off basically what DBD people want.
Yeah, right. That's huge.
Yeah, because they haven't driven any game into the ground with their
no.
Is that ASIM?
With their feedback.
Is that ASIM? Are we done with ASIM outside of this? Because I have something random I want to bring up that I didn't tell you guys about.
Sure.
But,
it's not on my list.
It's not on your list, but I'm going to do it because I think we're all somewhat invested in this concept. There's a lot of
Gary's upset right now. He's uncomfortable.
There's a lot of rumblings happening on Twitter in the Blizzard community that perhaps BlizzCon could see an announcement related to Heroes of the Storm being revived and supported again. I know.
What?
And this is relevant for me because that was the first game I ever streamed. It was like the first passionate game I was ever passionate enough about to make content with. And like in the early stages,
how me and John became best friends forever.
That's how Gary and I met through Heroes of the Storm.
And then in the early stages of our friendship, our 3-man mutual friendship, like we bonded over Heroes of the Storm. We played together. We talked about it. Like, yeah, that was something that we all shared. So I know it's not horror ASIM. I mean, I was a Stitches
It's
man,
relevant to Spine Chill.
It's relevant to Spine Chill, yeah.
That's made my heart
the Spine
happy.
Chill mental health section.
Yeah.
Oh, that's made my heart so happy. I can play Murphy again.
It's just rumors at this point, but there's a lot, and a lot of the people, it's like a lot of, because I still follow a lot of the old, like, prominent Heroes of the Storm content creators. That was the first game that I was passionate about on Twitch. I watched it, I streamed it.
I keep track of them myself.
Grubby and those guys.
Grubby and Vinruki and Trixler and all those guys, right? And so then they're all kind of like, it could be copium, but like there's some rumbling, there's some signs that like maybe Heroes of the Storm might be making a comeback. So
I mean, they never really like fully stuck the fork in that game. Like,
it's still going now.
New characters like twice a year, right?
Coming out, I'm noticing. May's in it. I don't know if they added another one. Oh, they added May. Yeah, they had like it's like some kind of Tasmanian devil-looking character spin.
Oh yeah, that was from World of Warcraft. Hogger. They added Hogger.
Yes, they added Hogger. Yeah,
they added Deathwing got added.
Right Deathwing was like that was the final thing before like I stopped.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, it could all be copium, could all be rumors, but I think we all three of us would be very excited to hear if they decided they were going to start leaning back in, because we might have to start a second podcast, do a Heroes of the Storm podcast. I don't know about you guys.
The Storm podcast? It's too many games.
We just have a section at the end.
We could have
the Heroes of the Storm section.
Heroes corner, at the very end of the podcast we talk about.
Or we can make a new one where we just take the name. We become the Heroes of the Storm.
Gary and I will start
the Storm podcast.
Gary and I will start the podcast, and we'll invite John to be our guest.
I don't like that. Why does Gary get to be co-host twice?
I mean, the problem
I'm very organized.
Well, you were kind of apprehensive when I mentioned starting a Heroes of the Storm podcast, so I feel like you're not all in, and I feel like I need people who are all in on this project. Is the thing. Like, you're either fuck yes or you're fuck no, John. You know what I mean?
What? Don't even bother inviting me on as a guest.
Wow. Okay. I thought petty was Gary's angle. That's crazy.
I would be on your little podcast if you begged me to.
Yeah. But all jokes aside, we're excited.
We
right?
would beg you.
I hope that that's a real thing.
And I would say no.
Yeah.
I'm not above begging.
Same.
That's
I'm
exciting.
excited.
No?
I hope,
That's
it's
exciting
real.
news.
I hope it's real.
Yeah.
If they were to announce that, I would dive straight back into that being like my secondary game when I play.
Me too.
Outside.
Yeah.
I don't have
No,
much training that. Oh no, I probably would. I really like playing that game.
I mean, I remember we like got back into it briefly like last year sometime, Gary. We were playing it a little bit.
We tried to give it another go, yeah.
And like I didn't have a ton of fun, but like I had fun playing the characters I used to play. Like playing Murky, playing Li Ming, playing, you know, my former main Sylvanas and stuff. That was still fun.
Yeah.
But we lost a lot of the matches.
It's because like the only people playing it are really sweaty now, and we are not sweaty.
That's because they never stopped playing, and we all took like years
playing,
off.
yeah.
We come back,
Yeah,
it'd be fun to check it out again. These guys are like,
Like I remember when I used to
Yeah.
play Lost Vikings, I'd be micromanaging every single Viking, and I tried playing them again, and I was like, I don't know, Eric, go over here.
Yeah,
Oh, he's dead.
yeah.
Oh, where's Olaf? Oh, Olaf's dead. Oh, that's not good.
Right, yeah. It's hard to jump back in to a MOBA for sure.
I mean, when I went
Do we
back,
jump back in?
my
at some
stitches,
point?
my stitches
Jump back
hooks
into the
were
matchmaking pool?
my
Should-
stitches
should we
hooks
do
were my stitches hooks were real clean when I came back, boys. So I'm ready to go. I don't want to invest until I know they're really going to start developing for the game again. Like I don't want to get.
Doesn't mean we could have a little play on it one weekend.
I mean, I value my time, Gary. So I don't know if I want to do that.
Clearly not. You played VHS for the longest time.
That's because there was still hope. I haven't touched it since their announcement that they were like, we promise we're still going to keep developing the game. We're just going to put people on other projects.
In
like, yeah, they're
fairness,
dead.
Doug, even when there was hope, it was still a waste of your time.
I mean, we know that now, but we didn't know that at the time. One of these days, I'm going to bet on one of these ASIM horses, and they're going to blow up, and you guys are going to be like, he's always been ready for it. I'll be number one, dude. I'll be number one in one of these ASIMs.
He's been buying the ASIM lottery ticket every day for
every time they
7
release
years.
one. Yeah.
Remember, if you ever decide to play VHS, you will be number one.
Yeah,
True.
I mean, how many people were there on there? John, 9 when you checked earlier today.
Something like that. Yeah.
I think it was 8. Somebody making a joke.
8 players. Yeah, 8
Yeah,
players.
like, that means
Nine was
there's
a
one
24-hour
full
peak,
lobby
right?
and 3 people
Yes.
waiting for that match to end so they can play.
VHS, 8 players.
Or it's
That's
18 mains that are just waiting for a monster to log on and start.
That's probably more of what it is.
Dear.
Yeah, on that note, Home Sweet Home Online, you know, as much as we're like, this is a bad launch, they do have 1,500 people playing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it is launch weekend, but still. It's not bad.
I mean, at least they launched with
stuff.
something new, you know, better than last year.
It is
Like
better
they
than
launched,
last year.
That's
they
true.
launched with a new game
Yeah.
mode. I will
But
tell
I
you
don't-
that.
But I would say, like, saying that's like, the Singularity, it's better than the Skull Merchant.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is not an overwhelmingly positive review. It's just like, well, and what we've seen from Home Sweet Home, to be really, really honest and fair, is that they've been like really on top of like updating the game. Like when the game was completely dead in NA, they were still releasing new characters, new wardens, new visitors,
Yeah.
new
There's
maps. Like,
a lot of content in the game at the moment. Like, there's a lot
Yeah.
of. Like, I was looking through them, and I kind of want to play some of the other wardens. I'm stuck playing Belle for the most part.
Yeah.
Same.
same.
There's like a puppet
I-
man that I really want to play.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he looks cool.
So I do think they're in a better power position than last year in the sense of like they're back, they have a resurgence in the player base, they have a new game mode, and they've shown us a propensity to like continue to release content. So we should see new content from them the next couple months, which might be enough to keep some of those people around, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because last year had that sort of a launch. They had that sort of a launch, over 1,000 players. People were like really excited about it. People were streaming it on Twitch. People were coming to my Twitch chat like, "Hey, you saw last year's back?" Like,
Yeah.
and then they released nothing new, and now it's down to 180 people.
Yeah.
So hopefully, Home Sweet Home has a different strategy.
Yeah, I'm on their team. I'm supporting them. I hope it.
No, I'm rooting for them to win. Right?
Yeah,
Same.
Release your fucking NA servers.
I mean,
but I'm not gonna
Give
hold
it-
my breath because the NA and EU servers missing is like a big deal.
it
I'm
is.
selfish. I don't
Yeah.
even care about you. Give me the NA servers. No,
Well, give me the EU servers. Fuck NA.
we'll talk after
I mean,
the podcast.
I mean, with NA would be. And it would be better than nothing.
Yeah.
EU would be better than nothing. Well, we'll see what happens with that. I have a feeling it's just going to go like they always do, but who knows? Prove us wrong.
Yeah.
Now, first Gary's bold in betting against ASIMs. Now John's bold in betting against ASIMs. Man, this podcast.
It's the dark times. It's the trouble. They've
really
let us
is,
down
yeah.
too much. I mean,
Like
Yeah.
what?
but at least we have TCM.
We could even do a whole episode about like what ASIM has not disappointed other than DVD, and even DVD disappoints at times, right? But like otherwise, it's just been flop central for like
Yeah.
every ASIM.
I'm going
Does
to
that
say
mean do a
this
section of
too-
Resident Evil Resistance and watch me cry?
Oh my god. I'm going to say too, like, I wonder how long it is going to be until we see like a non-indie developer, non-Capcom company make an asymmetrical game. I mean, asymmetrical horror game.
It is
because
really weird, right?
Yeah,
Like,
when is
you
like
would
EA
think-
gonna make one, or like Blizzard gonna make one? Like when is somebody else gonna
Exactly.
make one?
Blizzard in particular is puzzling because it's like any new game that comes out, they're just like, we'll make one too. A card game, we made one. A mobile, we
Yeah.
made one. You know,
They could do something with Overwatch as well.
A Blizzard,
Yeah.
a Blizzard
That could do
ASIM
a
would
new
be
game
kind of.
mode thing if they killed off the PvE.
If they did a Heroes of the Storm style ASIM for Blizzard, so you could play as like classic Blizzard characters in the Blizzard universe, that would be so fire.
yeah, you could be like the boss or the raid party or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That would be cool.
yeah. And
That
they
could
could
be
literally
fun.
they could literally do the same thing they did with Heroes and have it be like from World of Warcraft and StarCraft and Hearthstone and Diablo and
The maps would be cool.
Overwatch.
It's a Zerg level.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, there's tons of ideas out there. It's just like
Hire me,
I'm just
Blizzard.
surprised no one's hopped on. Like no Ubisoft, no EA, no Activision. Really?
Yeah.
They're just too busy making shooters. I guess.
I've heard rumors for years now that like one of the major labels was talking about doing a Halloween ASIM, Michael Myers.
Mm.
That's all.
I've heard
I mean,
that
that's
too.
all literal just rumblings, right? Nobody has any actual words about
Yeah.
anything on the paper, but I'd love that though. It'd be good for the genre.
I kind
It
of
would
want.
be nice.
It kind
Great
of
for the
seems.
podcast.
It seems weirdly like Nintendo might be the most likely one because they keep doing weird shit. Like
They would do a really
made-
cutie one, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they do like a really cutesy Mario version. I mean, they made a Mario XCOM. They made 2 of those games, Mario versus Rabbids
Do you
or
think
whatever.
they sit there and go, we want to make a different game? And they just go, oh, well, which license are we gluing on top
Yes,
of it?
exactly.
Which
That's
one?
exactly what they
Which
did.
do we glue on top?
Fucking Nintendo. That's all they do. Yeah, it works. Whatever. And now they're back with the Super Mario RPG. It's like they do take interesting turns. A Mario ASIM would be really.
Yeah.
I'd play.
They could, if they were going to do a horror ASIM, Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
Glue it on top. Bish bash bosh.
Do you want to be the ghost or Luigi? You could be the ghost versus the ghost catcher. It'd be Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
We're just
Except
But
calling it
with, but with a
Ghostbusters.
Nintendo
Yeah.
license, so that'd be huge.
Yeah, true.
I'd play the shit out of that game, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like I would be so
Yeah.
into that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, true.
But I played the shit out of all these bad games, so no surprise.
What a bold take. Doug's gonna give the
I know.
ASIM game a chance.
Wow.
I know. Breaking
Also
news on the
predictable.
podcast. Yeah, we really do have our tendencies, don't we, boys?
Yes,
That's what makes us so gosh darn charming. It's why
True.
we're #1 video game podcast in Romania, so why change?
But if you want to make us the #1 rated, then you gotta get us to 500 ratings. This is your
Do it now.
reminder. 500
Do it.
Spotify ratings.
Say Linksy's back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, with the hand thing that she was doing.
Oh, she's like doing the hand thing and then telling us that there was a fun bus on Macmillan.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how none of
was.
us like called her out for. Never mind.
Yeah, because we got
Oh.
too distracted from her little mines story.
Yeah,
Oh, that
the
was so
mines.
bizarre.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a reminder, for if you go to Spotify, rate it 5 stars, come back to the podcast on YouTube and say, I did it, Doug, and then Doug will verify that it's gone up by 1, and then he'll respond to you.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to verify. I'll just thank you. I guarantee you, I won't check.
But they're gonna take advantage.
They'll take
I-
advantage
you know
of
what?
Doug.
Why?
I have to be. Honesty is my toxic trait, guys. I have to be honest. I'm not gonna verify. That's a lot of work.
Just lie, Doug. Just lie. Just say you're gonna verify.
Say you're
I
gonna
don't like lying. Why are you pushing me to lie?
Okay, you know what?
You know what? How about
Just cut this out, John.
How about instead of lying?
Cut
How about instead of lying? I'll do even worse. I'll commit to checking. Ew. I'll put in effort.
Okay.
I will check.
And when he sees that it's not changed at all, he'll go, "Thank you."
No, I won't. I'll call him out. I'll be like, "You said you did it, but I don't see the number higher." So.
No, cut that, John. Cut that, because they're gonna everyone's definitely gonna say they've done it.
We're like Doug's PR right now. We got a huddle about this.
Can you imagine how bad a job that would be to be my PR? Like, oh man, that would be.
No, don't say that.
Imagine it. We're living it.
I know.
Doug, put the ukulele down.
My mods tell me that that's fucking hilarious, John. What you just said. Oh my god.
Thank you.
Okay, I had to pause on that. Yeah, my mods tell me all the time that I mod the channel and they mod me, so I'm a very difficult person to manage, I think. But I don't even own a ukulele, John, so I think I'm safe for now.
Me neither.
I do.
Yeah.
I started my stream the other day. I pulled out my ukulele.
Oh, you did?
That tracks.
I titled it "Hi."
That tracks.
Oh.
That tracks, Gary.
I think I saw that, and I was just like, "That's very un-Gary to have that title." And I think
it's actually very Gary.
I think I dropped in and I was like, he seems fine, because it seems like something you'd be like, I'm in a bad mood. Hi. And then you go live and I was just like, what happened?
No, I made like I tweeted that clip out I made of it, whereas like I edited in Danny DeVito. I just kept pressing that. I had it like ready set up on stream so I could keep playing it.
This is what you're missing if you're not tuning into the Hot Cross stream.
True.
Ukulele solo performances.
Me being a bit of a shitlord.
Well, was this the best season ever?
I think it might
be one of our best for sure.
One of our best. Okay.
Yeah, one of our best. Yeah. Maybe the best.
Maybe the best.
Could be our best.
Maybe.
I can't think of a better season.
I can't either.
I think the one where we finally get through an entire season without bringing up VHS once will probably be our best season.
I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
We're
still bringing up Resistance.
Yeah, I know.
That's true.
There's always little tidbits to bring in Resistance here and there.
It's so funny. We won't ever let them really die, right? We'll just always have to bring them up forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should start like beeping out when we say it.
It's redacted.
Redacted, yeah. I like that.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah,
well,
good
we'll do
season.
that next time. Yeah, good season.
Good hustle.
All right. Yeah, good hustle, everybody. Signing off. Remember to rate us. Signing off. It's your favorite co-hosts, me, John, and Gary, Hot Cross.
Yeah, your other favorite host.
You're the favorite. Yeah. Well, your favorite co-hosts is
co-host. Oh, there we go. Okay,
yeah. I wasn't saying I'm their favorite co-host.
Okay.
Although,
and then everyone's favorite guest,
Doug Running.
Doug
Thank you for
Man.
joining us once again.
Hugs and kisses.
Maybe one day we'll be 3 favorite hosts.
Oh my goodness, we
if
could
only
be
we
so
can
lucky.
get to 500.
Honestly, at
500.
this point, we need. Yeah, I don't want to think about it till the ratings are in. Yeah, guys, you know what to
your
do.
Little nephew,
nieces and nephews,
Give them
grandmas
this
and
podcast.
grandpas, the cashier at your favorite grocery store. Tell them.
Tell them.
All
All right, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.